them back across the line. As you all have pulled up in your surveillance van, the standard stretch affair that you all ride along in, with surveillance equipment in the back, biometrically locked weapons cabinets, and everything that you all need to deploy. You see the scene before you as one of chaos. There is a bank that has a barricade set up with NYPD SWAT officers all along the bank. And you can see the silhouette of a man in the glass wearing a flak jacket and holding a machine gun, looking out over them. You all have been dispatched particularly because this bank is a front for a large number of technocratic operations here on Wall Street. It is not known whether or not the attack was coincidence, but everyone in your line of work knows there is no coincidence. There are people starting to gather, watching and filming on cell phones. There are news crews that desperate police are frantically trying to push backwards as you all pull up. What would you like to do?
Who's in charge? Who's the lead agent for us?
Important point of clarification. You all tell me. This is not your first time deploying with one another. And I will say, in the shotgun position, as always, is the professor, the disheveled, oddly fidgety member of the team that always comes with you. He is a genius, but he is an odd guy, and he is fidgeting with the radio and trying to get the panel off of the airbags while the rest of you are assessing the situation. But who is in charge? That is important.
Well, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Does it seem like the armed guards, the baton wielders outside of the van are they covering for us so that we can get to where we need to get?
Strangely, mysteriously, as your van pulls up, no one seems to interfere with you at all. It's the oddest thing, but you all are definitely still back behind the line as your unmarked van pulls up and fits in seamlessly with the SWAT vehicles and the field command posts that the NYPD has set up outside.
Well, how many guards are we looking at? How many like SWAT vehicles is there? How big of a crowd has gathered?
The crowd is gathering by the minute. You see, as you actually give me a wits and awareness, or actually, I have so many versions of this game floating around in my head. You can give me, give me wits and awareness.
All of us?
Yeah. I would say anyone that wants to survey the scene, unless you want to survey it some other way. You all have a number of capabilities at your disposal.
What do we need to roll higher then?
The default difficulty is 6.
6. I got 2 successes.
I got 4.
4?
Holy shit.
Just
what
one.
are we doing? How are we doing crits in this one?
10s, we can do this. Well, actually, I will give this to you all as a choice. For those of you that have been watching this with us for a while, usually we end up sort of an odd fusion of the 20th edition rules and the V5 rules, because we are ostensibly playing Mage 20th edition. In 20th edition, every time you roll a 10, you re-roll that 10 and add the success. However, if we choose to do that, anytime you roll a 1, it removes a success. Or we can do what we're accustomed to. Every 2 10s will count as 4 successes and keep it simple. I will leave that up to you guys. Hey, you want to do that?
Yeah, I like the punishing one, potentially.
All right. You want it to go, you want the exploding die?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Mason, are you saying the exploding die?
We're talking we re-roll 10s and add them?
Yeah, you re-roll 10s and add them.
Absolutely.
However, anytime you roll a 1 is not just not a success, it removes a success.
I'm sorry.
Do it.
I'm never going to roll a 1 day. So.
Got it. Well, then,
Starting off confident.
That is how we will play it. Well, how many is that then, Justice?
Holy shit. I got to keep going. Believe it or not.
I like where this is headed.
Oh, okay. Fine. That is 8 successes.
It is amazing to me that because of my vampire dice, I have bags and bags of D10s in this house. And of course, I didn't have any of them nearby because why would I? We're just playing a D10 game. Perfect. There we go. Got some out. Excellent. That is 8 for you. How many? Well, I know we have yet to introduce your characters properly, but how many is that for you, Diana?
Well, I was hoping to use my specialty in dimensional space to see if I could get kind of like almost that weird zoom in bird's eye perspective on what we're doing right now and what's surrounding us.
I definitely like where this is headed. Are you using expressing one of your mystical abilities, or one of your skills is the dimensional space expertise?
It is my special sphere. So
Which
you tell me.
So you would like to access your dimensional science. Perfect. This is what I would like you to do. Just roll 3 dice.
I can
Also,
do that.
audience, I'm aware of the fact that we just jumped into this. I'm going to explain a little more momentarily, but it wouldn't be me if I didn't just drop them in a meat grinder immediately.
And we're doing exploding dice?
Yes. Justice is... What does your character look like? I realize in fact, who are you and what do you look like? Let's start working in some of those introductions.
My name is Nathaniel Gray, or as you can address me, Mr. Gray. I am. When you first take him in, he is tall and imposing with silver hair, silver gray, not unnatural silver, and always dressed in an impeccable suit.
Excellent. With 8 successes, you realize a couple of things. There are at least 2 gunmen that you can see inside of the bank. You can make out the vague silhouette of at least 4 people sitting on the floor inside. It's difficult from this perspective because you're not only across from the bank, there's the whole police line, but 8 successes is quite significant. You also see the SWAT officers are loaded up and clearly prepared to breach, but they're like motioning around at the roofs like you think they're probably going to try and get snipers into position. There's also bullet holes in the front glass where you can see at least some gunfire has already been exchanged, which is probably why there's already a crowd and a news crew here.
Well, we got a job to do, right?
Yes.
Yes, and let me remind you that we need to keep expenses to a minimum.
You talk an awful lot about money.
Yes, well, it makes the world go round.
In Diana, who are you playing and what do they look like?
Yes, I am Miss Artura Klimt. You can call me Art. Artura is very tall and very lithe. She has a very almost Tilda Swinton sort of look to her, where she's not attractive per se, but you can't help but keep looking. There's something very almost alien about the way that she presents herself. Very much in juxtaposition to those who she's surrounded by right now.
And what did you get on that dimensional sciences roll?
4.
As you sort of let your mind extend and reach out and start to get a feel for the extraplanar realities of this place, the likes of which that the average sleeper has no idea about. And honestly, many of your fellow agents don't understand the true complexity of the universe that you all find yourselves floating like leaves in. You are aware of essentially the same things that Mr. Gray had deduced, although you are aware that inside of the bank, there are at least 10 hostages. They're in 2 groups of 5 in 2 different points in the bank. There are some that are outside in the lobby. There are some that are further back, closer to the vault. There are also at least 5 gunmen inside that you can detect. There's the 2 that are up by the front door, 1 man with a machine gun on each groups of hostages, and there is a 5th one that is roaming just to kind of support the others and make sure nothing gets out of hand. You are aware that there are many radio signals and internet signals being broadcast out of here. And you're also aware that there is a significant dimensional disruption that is coming this way quickly. It's like knowing it's about to rain, like feeling the wind blowing in this direction. Something's about to happen.
Can I tell where it's coming from?
It is coming. If the van is head on to the bank, it is almost like it is coming from behind the van. It's coming from the same direction you came.
Okay. We'd better act quickly. It seems that they have them split into 2 groups. There's about 5 men with guns inside, I'd say. But
I'd like
time
to-
ticks away.
I'd like to storyteller roll. I think do a possibly a life and forces check to attempt to feel the heart rate of the gunman holding the hostages. I'm trying to like glean which one is the most nervous.
Excellent. So this is one of those excellent times where we're talking about Mage, which I didn't bring up for art, but this is a wonderful time to do so. One of the things that you will do when you are working your magic in this system is reality itself is like a rubber band. You can stretch it, but if you stretch it too far, it will snap. And when it snaps, you will get hurt by something known as paradox. So you have to explain this in a way that would make sense for why you would know such a thing. You're a woman in a van across the street. So how would she know that? There's 2 types of magic. There's coincidental magic. That's weird. That just happened. And vulgar magic, which shouldn't be possible, but you can kind of muscle it. So how are you going to find out that information? Well,
obviously with my vast expertise of the human body and effects of the psychological surroundings on the human body, I'm just very closely observing their breathing rates and making an educated guess.
You're going to read them and read their tells. Excellent. Just for the record, Art, I'm going to say that you have access to all the elaborate state-of-the-art instrumentation in this van. All sorts of readings give you all sorts of readouts and information that you can interpret for your dimensional sciences. Before we make this roll, Emily, who are you playing and what do they look like?
I'm playing Oz. Oz is tall, very athletic build. High ponytail, perfectly coiffed brunette ponytail. Looks like she's probably worn a ponytail every day of her life. Dressed in solid black Lululemon with white accents. And just the touch of color is the orange shades that she wears. Looks absolutely approachable, absolutely friendly. Probably is not.
Excellent. You're going to roll 3 dice for that effect. All of you will roll 3 dice for all of your magical effects.
Okay, that is 2 successes.
Well, I guess I didn't give you a difficulty. So what were the numbers you got on that die?
I got a 9 and a 6.
Excellent. I'll give you that too. You can tell one of the dudes by the door. You can see the 2 by the door and the one that is sort of pacing back and forth. The other 2 that you've been alerted are in there. You cannot see from here. One of the guys on the door is very squirrely. The other one is about what you'd expect. He feels about as nervous as all the cops do. I mean, anybody that's potentially about to get shot at is already at kind of like 3,000 RPMs. You do recognize, however, the one who is pacing, absolutely ice cold. Ice water in the man's veins.
Okay. So I'm going to get my company's attention and point at the squirrely one and say, that's our weak spot.
All right, looks good. What I would like to do, though, because we are dealing with a crowd situation, and no matter what happens, I want to make sure that nobody gets to see any of it. So, with all of these people around and everybody's different devices, it would be a shame if the Wi-Fi went down and none of these, all of these transmissions got scrambled and nobody was able to see what happened today.
That would be an awful shame. And for the record, who are you playing and what does she look like?
I am playing Belladonna, New World Order agent codename Nightshade. She is she's tall, brunette with bangs, long hair, very, very stylish, impeccably dressed in what I would like to call a well-tailored tactical cat suit. She's yes, and she, I wouldn't say moonlights. Her day job is a very powerful influencer.
Excellent. And then are you doing this magically, or are you using this with your skills? Are you going to, is there an EMP like sort of signal scrambler on the van?
I would say there would, before we even get out of the van, I'm guessing our van would have something like that.
If any
Along those
van in
lines?
the world would have such a thing, it is this van.
Yes.
Yes.
Especially with our professor.
Excellent. When you start looking, you do see the professor who has managed to get the panel off and is looking at the airbag, turns around and looks at you, Belladonna, and says, time. Yes?
I'm sorry, time for...
Everything.
Sure.
Great. And you see he reaches in his coat and pulls out a very large Desert Eagle 50 caliber handgun and just looks very excited.
Oh, yes. That's what you were referring to. I didn't know if you meant time, or now is the time. Yes, now is the time.
Oh, did you mean? And he reaches in his pocket and pulls out his very thick horn rim glasses and flicks them open.
Yes.
Time.
I thought that's what you meant. Time.
I do get such headaches from this, but for you, I will hazard the risk. Belladonna, roll for me your 3 dice, and the professor is going to roll his as well.
Okay. What difficulty level?
We'll make that 6. Shutting off Wi-Fi is not particularly difficult,
Okay,
especially with the equipment too.
2 successes.
You immediately see all through the crowd people, oh, what? Oh, come on. It's just, what? Jeez, man, come on. And the murmur goes through.
Their life doesn't exist if they can't prove it to other people on camera. So I think we might be good. Everybody ready?
You all see the professor turns around and he says, oh, I may have miscalculated. And you see blood is coming out of both of his nostrils. And he just, I need a moment.
Right. Well, time marches on. We have a mission.
Speaking of, who are you playing and what do they look like, Mason?
Yeah, so I am playing Maul Damons. He is stereotypical G-man, kind of Matrix-looking guy, and it's on purpose. He likes the movies. That said, he is incredibly serious about the mission, the grand mission for him. And this is one of those moments where he wants to get in and be done with this nonsense. As he kind of like steps out of the van at this point, I'm going to begin, having heard from Oz, making my way towards those doors.
Excellent. And yes, Mikaela,
before he goes much further, I want to run a quick tactical analysis of the what we'll call the nonlinear predictions using time 2, entropy 2.
Excellent.
So not only am I looking forward in time, I'm analyzing what our best course of action is.
Excellent. I love it. Also, who are you playing and what do they look like?
I am playing Allison Thorne, an Iteration X operative, and I am tall and, although human, don't seem very much like it.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll it here. Yes.
3 successes.
Perfect.
So 6 or better.
6 is good. As you are looking forward, trying to figure out what to do, the potentialities start to branch out in front of you, and you start to narrow down based on what you were told by Oz. That guy was the weak point. There's 2 gunmen, and a plan starts forming, and then you just get a sense of catastrophe, unintended catastrophe.
Everyone stop. We have to reanalyze the situation.
The moment The moment Allison says that, Maul, you're getting out of the van, and you turn and like look back at them. You hear, and out of the sky, a person comes flying and lands in the middle of the ground, and a ground concrete craters underneath them. They stand up wearing a red, white, and blue bodysuit and a cape. Fear not, all. Captain Justice is here to save the day. And you see the cops are like, the fuck? Hey, get down on the ground. Down on the ground. He's like, oh, ho, ho. No, leave this to me. And flies forward and shatters both windows. And you inside the bank, you hear, brrr, 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 brrr. What would you all like to do?
Well, shit.
Do we know this guy?
You do not.
This is a most unacceptable loss of property damage. We need to stop this right now.
Go tell him how much those windows cost.
Are the two at the door distracted at this moment?
Oh, yes. He smashed through the door they were at. You get the distinct impression that a smoke bomb went off inside because visibility drops to almost zero. You just see a lot of flashes and gunfire inside.
Okay, that guy's in my way. I'm going immediately inside.
Okay. You notice as you go running past the police barricade, one of the officers turns like they're going to say something to you, and then they just don't. Maul, they're just like, as you go running by towards the, do you have any sort of weapon clearly brandished or anything of the sort, Maul, or are you just a man in a suit running?
Yeah, nothing obvious.
Excellent. Art, yes?
Yeah, please feel free to tell me that this is impossible and I am overstepping everything. Could I just, now that I've made my smart remark to our resident accountant, I want to use a lot of stuff to take 2 actions. If I could just dial back time, maybe like 15 seconds to the point where he lands. And then I'd like to utilize my knowledge of dimensional space and matter to create like a thick fog in the air so they can't actually see, so the crowd can't actually see what's happening.
So this may be possible. However, this will be incredibly vulgar because lots of people saw this happen. So it is within your power to do such a thing, but the difficulty is high and the potential consequences are higher. Because 50 people just saw this happen, and you're going to try and make it not have happened right in front of their faces.
Darling, that's never stopped me before. Why would it stop me now?
Then understanding the risks, yes, this will be a difficulty 9 for you to do this.
Okay. 3 dice?
Oh, yes, 3 dice.
And
Cool,
as I
great.
start feeling the ripple of time, I just say,
Oh no.
You see, the professor reaches up with the handkerchief under his nose, and he's like, oh, this is going to make the headache worse. Okay. Was one of them a 10 or did you roll 2 9s?
One of them was a 10 and I got to re-roll it and got a 9.
Fate has decided. As you are running across the street, Maul, you are aware of what's going on here and feel yourself move backwards and see this person, Captain Justice, come flying back out of the bank and see the doors fly onto their hinges and go back up into the sky. It would be a separate roll to create this fog bank, which is also going to be a difficulty 9 because your attention is very much fractured. You have succeeded in rewinding time. Whether or not you want to do the second effect will be a second roll.
So riddle me this, storyteller.
Yes.
So I just dialed back time. I know that I did that. I know what would happen if I just like let this happen as it had before. Do the rest of my cohorts know?
So interesting thing, you may or may not remember it. I will hand wave it now because, for the sake of ease, and we're just starting with this, but time magic's weird. Just because you made a thing not a thing does not mean you remember it. because it didn't happen. But for our purposes, I will say, yes, you are completely aware of the fact that this person is about to come out of the sky. I will say, just for the sake of ease, Allison and the professor are as well because of their connection to time. The rest of you are not. You just hear Allison say, we need to reassess, and Maul about to open the door.
Cool. So I probably have, a second or two before the guy lands?
Mm-hmm.
And how far is Maul from where he lands? Like 10 feet, maybe?
Maul is exiting the van 15-ish feet because the dude lands, he monologues for a second and flies into the bank.
I'm just looking at that, like knowing full well what I'm wearing and just like, what a ridiculous fucking outfit.
Cool. Could I, rather than tempt fate, could I just give Maul a really good hard shove so that he lands basically where Captain Underpants is going to fall out of the sky?
I mean, are you going to even tell the team this is about to happen? Because technically they're not aware.
Why would I?
Okay. Maul,
they're going to know in a few seconds.
Allison says, wait, we need to reassess. Art pushes you out of the van. Maul, give me wits and awareness.
Okay.
I love you, Mason. It's not personal.
Yes, it is. Oh, there's only 3.
As you sort of stumble out of the van, like, what? You notice up in the sky, there is a man, as described before, in the jumpsuit and cape, who flies over and looks down and just gives a huge smile and looks right at you and waves.
Oh, okay. That's not normal. And neither is that weather pattern that hurled that lightning bolt at him right as he landed there.
Neither is that spandex.
Is it your intent to have him get struck by lightning as he's flying overhead?
Yeah. Preferably before anyone else can see him and make him like tumble into bushes or something.
That would be forces. Yep, you could roll that. That happens. He's up in the sky. Things occur. Yeah.
So to be clear, how many? I roll my witch just to be sure, just the 3. Okay.
Always 3. There
Always
is
3.
that rating arete that
Yes.
defines how many dice you get to roll.
2.
You see, he pulls up and he's like, "Fear not, boom!" You all hear a deafening crack of lightning. It goes off over your head as this person goes hurtling out of the sky and crashes into the top of the bank. However, most people were covering their eyes and ducking and didn't notice what happened as he went flying down and hit the roof. You all did. The people in the crowd seemed like they didn't.
If he's still visible to me, or at least if at some point between his landing, would I be able to also just scramble his brain a bit, just so he doesn't remember why he was there or what he was trying to do?
Again, how would this be to see whether or not this is going to be coincidental or vulgar?
I mean, he just got hit by lightning. That's enough. That's enough to kind of make somebody disoriented.
Make him forget his childhood. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Roll. That would be a mind effect. Go ahead and roll it. Oz, you see Maul comes out. There's lightning. There is a person plummeting towards the roof of the bank. What does Oz do?
So at this point, I have not actually witnessed, or at least in my brain, I have not witnessed the superhero land from the sky.
Right. He didn't. Before he could land, he got hit by lightning and crashed. Yep.
I got 3 successes.
Great.
Perfect.
I'm still like, yeah, that one. That's the weak one. Why aren't we going for him? He's right there. Like, I am very focused on the mission.
When he crashes into the roof, the building sort of shakes and you see the gunmen like look up suspiciously, but then immediately point their guns at the cops, and the situation gets much more tense. And you see the third roving person takes off running back into the bank. What is Mr. Gray doing during all of this?
Well, besides keeping an internal tally of everything wrong going on right here, as well as the property damage that we will have to pay for on down the road. He's assessing the police officers and seeing how we may assist in guiding their hand and keeping our visibility at a minimum.
As of now, again, a lot of the cops ducked and covered and came up like very, very skittish when the lightning went off, not knowing what it was. But I mean, they're still humans. They were affected just like the rest of the crowd. You do know everybody's much more jumpy now that the guys by the door are actually pointing their weapons out at the cops. You think this whole situation is about to probably erupt here in just a couple of seconds.
And then seeing this, I would like to get out of the vehicle, motion for our disaster people to sit tight just a moment, and I will see if I can identify an individual that is in charge of the civilian police, or the masses police officers.
There definitely is clearly what looks like an older woman. She's got salt and pepper hair, but, you know, she's pointing and yelling. She has a bullhorn in her hand, but she's not on it, you know, and people are looking at her and nodding and shuffling around. You would definitely think she's probably in charge.
Ma'am, how may we be of assistance?
What the hell are you? Are you feds or something?
Or something.
She sort of looks over her shoulder at you, Allison, and just like goes, okay. Well, you got like ID or something?
I would like to use some little mind powers that we don't. You don't need to see our IDs. Essentially, just playing on the aura that we all give off in our black suit, the official fact that you all have IDs, and then immediately the thought just goes, no, they're official. I don't need their IDs.
That would be a very simple mind effect and very reasonable, because black suited people are filing out of a van, an unmarked van. So, right. And
I'd
also,
like it noted I'm probably wearing something like bright yellow and plaid.
Exactly. Also, some black suited people, a yoga mom, and a piece of living art. Yeah, right.
Yoga mom.
That is Oz.
Oh.
What is my target number on that?
6 would still do it.
2 successes.
When you just sort of like, you know, and she's like, any ID? And you just look at her for a second. She goes, of course, you people never have ID. Hostages inside, 2 groups. We don't know. I don't know what the hell was up with that lightning a second ago, but it's like, you should get down, because I think we're about to have to light these dudes up if they keep pointing these guns at my men.
Let's everyone just remain calm and perhaps step back for a moment and allow my people to assess the situation. And perhaps you all should keep your eyes down. There are some strange atmospheric phenomenons occurring.
It must be why the Wi-Fi is down.
She goes, yeah, like we're even having trouble with the radios. That's the damnedest thing. I had to get this thing out.
You know?
It's a common occurrence these days. Global warming and whatnot.
You see one of the beat cops that is sort of further back behind one of the barricades turns and looks at you, Belladonna, and he goes, aren't you on YouTube?
I turn on my fake influencer voice. Hi, yes. Oh my God, do you follow me?
Yeah, but it's not safe for you to be here. Like, not at all.
Oh, it's okay. I'm on assignment. Shh. Just between us. Like, it's super top secret. It's going to come out like way later, but you'll be the first to hear about it.
Oh, well, stay close. I'll make sure nothing happens to you, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. And he like turns back toward like back towards the standoff. Yeah, and you see he very much pointed like he's a badass all of a sudden. Now that you've seen him, you know, like he's ready to like do something. Like, okay, all right, okay.
Good looking out.
Yes, Maul.
Are the 2 at the door, like, is it obvious now that the one guy's anxious? I mean, I know Oz kind of pointed it out, but it's...
Well, Oz having pointed it out to you, definitely, yes.
Okay. what I'm thinking right now, and I have not tried any mind effects yet, but what I'm thinking right now is that guy's jumpy. He has a family to get back to, right? The kind of cold-blooded guy at the door promised him everything would be fine, that it wouldn't escalate this far. And I would like him to start getting aggressive with I would like them to start getting aggressive with each other if I could.
Excellent. Like he didn't sign up for this, you know?
Like you go out there and take the heat for this. I want to live, that kind of thing.
Give me your mind effect. Yes, Art.
Well, Mr. Gray and Belladonna are having these very serious conversations, and Maul is sort of assessing the situation and about to incite a riot. I'm just going to kind of like look up from whatever piece of jewelry I'd been playing with and sort of lean back towards Allison and the professor and just say, are we really supposed to save them, or weren't we here to deal with the King of Spandex?
The professor's like, of course, we have to make sure that these people are fine, and we have to help them understand the light of our enlightened thinking and the goodness it can do for all of mankind.
Can I lean up and like start dabbing the professor's nose and doing some like triage to it?
Oh, he looks at you, Oz, and he goes, "Oh, thank you. I think the bleeding is done. Thank you. I don't want to touch you with my bloody nose hands. Thank you so very much, Oz. Thank you."
Please, I touch blood all the time. It's fine. And then I like position his head a little backwards so that the blood kind of slows down. And I'm like, go on, you can keep speaking. I had to fix it.
Oz.
But do we have to do it today?
Oz, give me perception and medicine.
Is there a difficulty I should know for this one?
Six is fine.
Okay.
Standard.
Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 successes.
As you were sort of treating him here, and you're like, no, don't worry, I got it. You know, his blood's got a really weird consistency to it. Like, it looks like blood, but when you touch it, it is almost like slightly gelatinous. And even though he was bleeding profusely, like there's no sign of trauma to his nose whatsoever.
I want to inspect the blood more closely and see if I can like glean anything about it.
As you sort of like dab for a second and you look like, oh, he just looks at you and goes, shh.
I'm like, but then I'm like,
Allison, what is Allison doing during all of this?
I think at this point I've determined that most of my team is not very combat oriented.
oh,
Not yet.
I am. I just haven't gotten out of the van yet.
Well, okay. Well, out of character, I already know about Belladonna, but I think at this point I want to start figuring out all of the variables using a bunch of spheres. Correspondence to know locations, mind to know who's going to be the most responsive and who's the weak link, and then using the time and entropy combo again to determine that if I were to go in there and start busting faces, my kind of efficiency on this.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll it for me.
I think I'm going to spend a willpower for this one too.
It's probably for the best. This for Mage 20 for the record, because you guys are used to willpower getting you rerolls, and this you spend willpower for at least one guaranteed success. Doing strict.
10, a 9, a 7, so 4 successes.
As you are sort of running the calculation here, Allison, you realize you can kind of go one of two ways with this. You can let this superhero run in and take out the guards and then deal with him, or you can go in, take out the guards, and then deal with Captain Justice. Oh, one of those will deal with the other one if you don't interfere at all. So it's almost three plans. Do nothing. Let him take out the bad guys, or you take him out, or you take out the bad guys are kind of your three options.
And which one had the highest likelihood of success?
The highest likelihood of success is to let him take out the armed guards. However, this is an egregious display of reality deviance that you all cannot let go unchallenged.
And considering my implant, I cannot let management see that I'm letting something happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to do the super weird, efficient walk. And it's like very inhuman. It's beeline. There's no wasted movement. It is just everything is precise and pre-calculated to be the best success.
Maul, is you see Allison sort of like shoulders past you, heading like just effortlessly weaving through the police here. Up on the bank, you see this man stands up again, and he's like, "Oh, you, somebody in trouble? As Captain Justice will help you." Although, yes, Mr. Gray, I know you were trying to say something.
I have an idea for a distraction if it's needed. Is all. That's good.
Well, currently, you see people are attempting to point their cameras up at this guy, but they're still like shaking them and trying to figure out why they've got no Wi-Fi. And yes, Belladonna.
Could I use my phone, which I'm sure has got lots of agency resources on there, for me to hack into the building's surveillance cameras so we can get a better look of what's going on inside?
You absolutely can. And you can do that either magically or non-magically, because I know she has not insignificant skill with computers, or you can do it as a mystical effect.
Let's do it as just a non-magic.
Perfect. That would be either wits or intelligence. Well, I'd say intelligence or wits, whichever one is higher for you in computers.
Okay.
And Maul, you were about to say something?
Yeah, just I feel like we got to keep him out of the public eye. So that same weird weather pattern maybe has thrown a huge gust of wind that is going to knock him back down, maybe into his head onto a rock or something.
Are you trying? So he's on the roof of the bank, but he's near the ledge. You get the distinct impression he's about to jump off back to the front of the bank. You could make the wind try and blow him back further onto the roof if you chose. Yes.
Yeah. This is going to be, I'm going to first do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like to, as he kind of trips backwards, he steps on a pipe that's just rusted a little bit and gets sprayed with like hot steam, something like that.
Well, this will be those are two different forces effects. So correct. Yes, roll it for me to see if you successfully knock him down. Yes,
all
Art.
Right.
As my teammates start exiting the van and going inside,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to, especially now that two of them are having an argument, whichever one was sort of the leader, the one who was pacing around,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to disintegrate his gun.
So again, how? What is going to make because again, you're about to do something that is very vulgar in front of a lot of witnesses, which will have significant negative consequences for you.
Not like disintegrate like it turns to dust,
Mm-hmm.
but sort of like disintegrate like some hinge or something like comes looser and the pieces of the gun just sort of start falling apart in his hands.
Look, so yes, you can do that because there's very few things you can't do, but allow me to assist you in something that might be more helpful. Is something like the firing pin breaks. When he was shooting earlier, he actually shot all of his bullets and just didn't notice. There are more coincidental ways that you've accomplished your goal of incapacitating his weapon. You follow me? Because the more likely it is and reasonable, the easier it will be for you to do. The further you get from that, the harder and more potentially risky it is.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to be neat. But let's say that the trigger actually starts like it actually gets stuck in place. Like you cannot pull it anymore because some piece of metal has gotten in the way and now it's all one solid piece.
In all the chaos, his weapon got janked, huh?
Sure, it happens.
Which sphere do you intend to use to do this?
You tell me. I figured it would be matter.
Matter is what it would be normally. Cool. Matter would be optimal. Neat. There's some other ways. There's many ways to skin cats in Mage, but matter would be if you're trying to physically make the gun. Oh, whoops, it's broken. That's matter. Yep.
What is my difficulty?
I'll still give you 6 for that. This is it. We're easing into this.
Cool. And am I rolling Arete or am I rolling still my 3. Matter dice?
It's still 3.
Cool.
Question.
My dice like me tonight.
When you roll ones, do you re-roll those as well?
No, the ones take away a success.
But you still would roll a crit if you rolled a 1 and a crit at the same time.
Theoretically, yes, but the 1 is still you're gonna lose a net success. So if you roll a 1 and a 10, re-roll the 10. It is if you don't get a second success, the 1 will still take away the first success.
Just making sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And BD, what happens if you get a 1 and no successes?
That is what is called a botch. Something generally negative happens. That is actually exactly what happened to the professor on the very first thing he tried to do, which is why he's been of no assistance to you guys since. Yeah, he's dealing with a minor aneurysm right now.
Bless the professor.
Yeah. Yes, spell it out.
We love you.
I would just like to say that I got 4 successes on that. And if I am able to transmit the same frequency to everybody else's devices, that they would also be able to gain access into the surveillance cameras.
Yes, you easily hack the cameras. You notice on at least some of them, you're only getting darkness. You would deeply suspect they physically spray painted them, so you can't see over near where the vault is, and you can't see this main room here where the first group is being held. However, what you can see is they are moving the hostages away from the vault. They have taken them back into an office that is on camera and have piled them all against the back wall and have them covered with the machine gun in case the police breach. It is clear that they are going to kill at least one of the groups of hostages.
All right, we have to move because they're moving them.
To clarify, I apologize. Did you say there's still 2 groups of hostages?
Yes, there is still one in the main lobby area. The group that was by the vault has now been moved away from the vault into an office. And there is still the 2 gunners up front, which are now openly arguing. So much so, you see one of them is like, man, fuck this, and goes to point at the cops, and nothing happens. And sort of like looks down at his gun like he's confused and like bangs on it and tries to like pull at the.
I point and laugh.
Maul, what did you get for the effect to try and knock him over?
I got. Oh, did you want me to roll 1 or both? I rolled both, but I got 2 on the first one.
2 on the first one,
and then 2 on the second one.
Excellent. The wind picks up, and you. And inside the bank, you see this man falls through the skylight and lands in the middle of the bank. And the roving gunman stops and looks at him and and you see shoots him repeatedly, but he springs up. Ha ha! Captain Justice! And you see he looks at the man and laser beams come out of his eyes like Superman and shoot the guy and melt his head off right there. And the other 2 by the front door turn around and go like, holy shit, and start shooting at him inside. Yes, Mr. Gray.
In an attempt to keep this from the public eye, when he falls through the skylight and the initial shots are fired on him and nothing seems to happen, I would like to affect the bullhorn in such a way that it, things just have a natural way of falling apart, and speakers in particular can emit very loud and annoying feedback along with some of the sirens and whatnot. So I would appreciate it if the bullhorn would just proceed along its natural declination of product and
Are you-
emit a very large, loud, annoying sound and attract everybody's eye.
How are you going to do this? Which sphere would you like to use?
Entropy.
It definitely is an entropy effect, so go ahead and roll it. You see also, well, go ahead and roll and tell me what happens.
One success.
You hear the bullhorn very much like squeaks, and a couple of people turn and look at it, but as the machine gun fire is going off, it definitely is getting more of their attention. Allison, as you are very much stalking towards the front of the bank here, and you see these cops are still just kind of getting out of your way, the professor pops his head out of the window of the van and says, "Oh, hang on a second. Ma!" And you hear as on the belt of one of the guards, a smoke grenade he's got goes off. And he like tries to fumble with it for a second. Smoke goes off and obscures everything inside.
I again point and laugh.
Oz, what is Oz doing during all of this?
So a lot of time has passed since I wanted to do this, but there's a lot going on. That's okay. I wanted to say when I saw Allison making her advance, her very calculated, efficient advance, that I jumped out of the van and followed, fascinated, and like was attempting to mimic the advance as much as possible.
It is a very odd hopscotch, but you see the two of you are definitely approaching the front of the bank now. You can hear the gunfire inside, but it is all smoke as the two of you get to the front door. And you notice again, the cops have not attempted to inhibit you in any way as you sort of like break the line and walk forward. But you were at the front door and you hear boom, 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 boom. Fear not, citizens, coming from inside.
So I have this weapon in Mikaela's mage game, and I don't know if I have it in this one.
I like where this is headed. What's the weapon?
Do I have my big X6 Model P incinerator?
I mean, the day that I deny you a Model P incinerator is the day that we shouldn't be friends anymore. Yes, that is something you would still have access to.
I wasn't planning on using it, but you know, this guy wants to be a big hero in spandex and shooting people with laser beams with his eyes. I'm loading it, lock and load.
You're the only hero in spandex here.
Yes, you're the real heroes.
It's a forces-based wonder modified off of the standard issue weapons.
Perfect. Yes, you absolutely have it. Allison and Oz, as you all approach the door, roll for me as many dice as you have quintessence. Allison, you can still roll 1.
I have no quintessence.
Yeah, no, you can still roll. I mean, sorry, Oz, you can still roll 1. Sorry.
Got it. That's a 2.
In BD.
You want us to roll our quintessence?
Yeah, the number of dice equal to your quintessence.
2 7s and a 10.
Perfect. You can read that even with the having re-rolled the 10, it still's a total of 3.
And then a 6, so 4.
Allison, as you get near the door, you just get a just queasy unease that just sort of like resonates with you on a spiritual level if you believed in such things. But there is just so much paradox compounding in the bank, it is threatening to make you physically ill.
Okay. That's a few too many things. So I think I know what our superhero friend is. And oh shit, now I don't remember the code word for those.
The technocracy speaks very differently.
Yeah, it's like kill it right now. I forget what the acronym is, but
Attention all agents. There's a marauder on the presence.
You all would know as technocratic agents, a marauder is somebody that is just completely lost themselves to paradox. Like they've stopped trying at all and just warp reality at will. They are the most dangerous people because they're a danger not just to themselves and to innocent people, but to all of reality. Because as you know, reality itself does not want you to do vulgar magical effects. And a bulletproof person flying and shooting heat ray vision is definitely vulgar magic.
When Allison says that, I'm like, you want me to get him? You want me to take him down?
Allison?
Yes, we definitely need to take it down. But be careful. Anything he does will affect you.
I can take him. I can take him.
And I'm just like, I believe in you.
Where is he positioned right now?
So as of this exact second, you two are at the door of the bank. There is a smoke grenade that has gone off basically right there. So you are aware of what Belladonna has provided from the cameras, but the smoke inside is making it very difficult to see.
Okay. Once again, like I don't know if I'm describing how I should do this correctly, but I'd like to try to tap into, my connection with life forces to get a sense for where he is in this group.
You can make a life sense or a life check to see if you can sense where he is.
How will I do that?
Well, you tell me how will you do that? By like, just to give you an idea, I realize you're new to the game, but one of the ways the professor sees through time is his glasses are a device that allow him to pick up different frequencies of energy. If you want to say that she's got sensors in her glasses that allow her to detect pulses, anything of that nature that would make sense.
I am iteration X, so my body does, and I also have the background of enhancements. So can we say I have ocular enhancements, like superpowered LASIK that helps me to see the life forces?
Absolutely, but here's where it gets weird. The common person thinks cybernetic eyes aren't possible. They'll believe your glasses do it. It will be harder to believe that you have mechanical eyeballs, even if you've actually got mechanical eyeballs.
So for point of clarity, just for me new to the game, for something like this, it's still affected, even though it's not like there are people watching me. Like,
it is true, but remember, reality itself wants you to function within established rules, and the further you push that, the harder it becomes. So just saying, yes, I have ocular eye implants is enough. It will just be easier if you make it even simpler than that.
Well, that's why Oz wears the glasses, so that she can make it look like the glasses are some sort of enhancement when really it's her body.
Perfect. I love it. Yes. Roll life.
Great. Is it 6?
It'd still be 6. Maul, what is Maul doing during all, especially if Oz and Allison have run for the front door?
Everybody's making their way to the front door?
Well, Oz and Allison in particular. Allison has very tactically and efficiently made her way to the front door. Oz is there next to it. Yeah.
No, having heard them pronounce that it's, a marauder and that we get to now kill things. That's kind of what I'm here for. So I am going to, but we don't want other people to see it. So I will let you tell me what a physical illusion is. But I wanted to, it says it's a forces and prime roll. I wanted to see if I could make it look like the emergency shutters or some sort of thing have closed on all the windows for the building. So that way nobody can see what we're doing inside.
Yeah, you absolutely could do that. Again, that's the interesting thing about Mage. There's several ways to skin that cat. You can make it look like shutters came down. Okay. You can make them believe shutters came down. Some people can actually make shutters come down.
Wait, could I make them come down just with telekinetics?
If you've got the spheres, theoretically. I mean, and again, just to give you a point of reference here, Belladonna has established already, she's hacked into the system, so it's easier for her to be like, oh, I trigger the grates on the windows, But yes, theoretically, it is within your power to roll it, of course, to actually make the shutters come down to telekinetically. Again, Mage is the most conceptual of all of these. The other games, it's like you've got your powers and your powers do what they do. In this, you kind of have that, but you also have, but what you want to do. Yeah.
Okay. Then, I mean, I want to see if I can make them actually come down. The only way I could think of to explain this from a coincidental standpoint is if just out of all the stray bullets, one of them strikes just the right wire and they drop.
That is perfect, because that is how I would have explained it, as a stray bullet hits the panel. To be clear, Belladonna, was it your intent to enter now as well? You are muted, but I think that was a yes.
Can I spend a willpower?
Here we go. Sorry.
Yes, you absolutely can spend a willpower. That'll be one guaranteed success. Yes, okay. Belladonna. Sorry.
I'm absolutely moving in. And if I could use my cybernetic eye to detect any infrared, so I can see where bodies are, detect their heat, body heat.
Perfect. Excellent. I will say both Oz from her life sense and you from your infrared are aware of the people inside, despite the smoke. How many successes was that, Maul?
Only one.
But the one that you spent the willpower for?
Well, I had a success, and then I rolled a 1. and so
here's how we're going to do this. You bring the shutters down, but you bring them down at the wrong time. So, I mean, all of you dex checks to see if you can Indiana Jones inside the bank before the security gates come down. So give me dex and so many different skill versions.
Athletics.
Probably athletics. Yeah, it is probably athletics. Let's see. Yep, give me dex and athletics. Still difficulty 6. Yes, Mr. Gray.
Since this is going down, everybody is inside except for myself, correct?
Well, currently you and Art are outside. The other 4 members of the team are trying to get inside. We're going to see whether or not they make it.
Seeing that my distraction failed and the laser vision is going off and we need to limit the amount of exposure going on here, I would like to use some regular old mundane either intimidation and get this with this presumed power that I have from the black suit. Tell the captain that we have it under control and her men need to fall back and push these crowds back further in case of an explosion.
Give me manipulation and intimidation. Yep. And what is Art doing while the rest of them are rushing the building?
So Art is going to see everyone else rush towards the super dangerous being, and that's not so much her style. She will, however, overhear what Mr. Gray wants from the crowd control aspect of things. I would like to finally get out of the vehicle, but I'm going to go around the whole thing and then back towards the crowd. And I'd like to pretend to be a hostage that escaped to try and draw the attention of the onlookers.
In a bright yellow and checkered jumpsuit.
I'm sort of known in New York. It's a story people want to tell.
Excellent. Are you doing this purely with skill, or are you doing this mystically?
Purely with skill.
Then for that, give me your manipulation, and I will give you either. Well, there was no performance in this edition.
Expression?
Let's see. I'll give expression. I'll give you manipulation and expression. Yep.
Could I argue for charisma and expression?
I'll give you charisma and expression. Yeah,
Thanks.
that you very clearly have got to sell this is like full pearl clutch. For those of you with those dex and athletics checks, how did you do? 2, 4, 2. Oz, 2 is what I had in my mind. So Allison and Oz just like very much bolt underneath both Belladonna and Maul. Very barely roll underneath. It's like
My hair gets caught.
Yeah, you might have lost an inch there when it like slams down. Yeah, but you get through, and inside it is strangely quiet now. It becomes clear as you guys are sort of like down towards the floor. Both of the guards are dead. Of the 5 hostages that are out here, 4 of them are injured and possibly dead, having been hit by stray bullets in the in the chaos. Only one of them is unharmed. Actually, you would know, Oz. One of them is dead. 3 of them are injured. 1 of them is still alive. They're all tied up down on the tied up and gagged, sitting on the floor. It looks like 2 of the gunmen are dead, which means there's at least 3 more in here, and there's no sign of Captain Justice. There are deep black burns in the walls where the heat ray vision has gone off. And now that the 4 of you are inside, all of you are feeling that just queasiness that Allison was describing before. It's like all of reality is sort of like giving you slightly motion sickness. Like,
I do want to run over to the injured folks that I see.
mm-hmm.
And I have like a in my fanny pack, I have a protein smoothie that I want to feed to them and be like, you'll feel better. You'll feel better, while I try to like force some healing into them to get them back.
I will give you 1 life roll for everybody. That you kind of got like a little stim pack type thing. Like here's a painkiller. Here's a shot of adrenaline.
Yep.
I'm gonna get you out of this. Yeah. So limited healing is something that you are capable of with life. So again, to clarify, it is within your power to like close these bullet wounds up in front of them. That's just not a thing that is supposed to happen. Making sure they essentially won't bleed to death. That is very simple.
Yeah, I'm not seeking to like undo the bullet wound. I'm literally trying to do enough internal healing to keep them okay till the hospital.
Perfect.
Which they can't see, but like they think that I'm just making them feel better.
Perfect. Excellent. Give me your life roll. Art, roll for me your dimensional sciences. Excellent. 4 successes immediately. You see, not only do you start to heal them physically, you actually start to kind of heal them emotionally. Obviously, this has been massively traumatic, but as you're sort of tending to, they're looking at you, they're like, oh, my God, thank you. You saved our lives. You don't look like a car. Are you a superhero too? Was that a fucking superhero?
There's no such thing as superheroes. Deep breaths.
But I mean, I mean, maybe he had like a flak jacket on or something, but he had like lasers came out of his eyes.
Look at me. Look at me. You've gone through a lot today. Deep breaths.
Oh, Allison, Oz, Maul, and Belladonna. No, these people cannot leave here saying they saw a superhero rescue them. One way or another, whatever that means to you, these people cannot leave here.
Does anyone have a flashy thingy?
I swear I heard that as fleshy thingy, and I was like,
I did too.
Very different.
What? I was like, we finished our changeling game.
That's true. Mage After Dark over here.
It was covered in rhinestones then.
That's true.
That is true.
With the secret weapons background, could I have a flashy thing that we could use with like mind to do that?
So theoretically, that would be a wonder. So at the risk of being overly meta, you know what? We're going to let fate decide. Because at the risk of being overly meta, the professor has maxed out all of that. Anything the technocracy possesses, he can get his hands on. So we'll let fate decide. Hang on. You know, I legit was like, I'm going to give you a 30% chance, and I rolled 30. So Belladonna, he absolutely has slipped you what they call neuro editor that will essentially make people's minds very, very malleable to about the last 10 minutes or so. It is not an outright blank slate, because that's actually more of a problem when people start realizing there's large patches of their memory missing. But you can sort of massage it. Yes.
Yeah. So cool. Now with this and with the combination, I'd like to use mind to, I can't fully mind control, but I would like to influence their thoughts in their subconscious to be like, yeah, you know, I don't know. My adrenaline's going. I don't know if I saw what I saw.
Right. Could have been anything. Maybe he just had like a weird vigilante type thing is what they saw.
Maybe it's just a weirdo with a laser pointer. I don't know.
So here's how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna let you roll 6 dice, because the device. Well, let me rephrase. Roll however many dice you have for mind and add 3.
Sweet.
Because the neuro editor has 3 dice of its own.
Okay. 1, 2.
The professor also loved that movie.
So I rolled 3 9s and a 10. Okay, so I have 5 successes.
Is you're sort of like, yeah, let me just check your eyes real quick. And you know, that's weird. That's in all the chaos. Who knows? You could have seen him. I guess that guy just had like a flak jacket on. Maybe like he's some sort of like a experimental SWAT.
Just could be the trauma you're suffering from. I don't know.
They're just like, yeah, no, but it looks so real. But you're right. I guess yeah, they started shooting and I was ducking. Like, I guess, okay. Okay. I mean, they're sort of like nodding, like, oh, all right.
You know, you could have also suffered a concussion. So just, you know, don't fall asleep for a few hours, but you probably, I'm sure once you get some proper rest, you'll remember really what happened.
Art, what'd you get on that dimensional sciences?
So that was 3 successes.
Is you are what did you get on your performance of I've escaped? And what did you get, Mr. Gray, on your intimidation?
3.
As Mr. Gray is like, we got this. Art starts yelling like, oh my God, they saved me. Oh yes, wonderful. And you see the crowd like cheers a little bit, and the cops start shifting in the direction of the crowd, trying to get them out of here. And it does sort of open up the area around the bank. In Art, you see standing there a spirit. Not that such things exist, but you do know that certain aspects of humans can exist, you know, beyond death, you know, untethered by the limitations of a physical form. Looks like a bank worker with just a bullet in the middle of his chest. Like he's wearing just a shirt and tie, short sleeves, kind of dumpy, with just a wound right here and blood everywhere. And he's like, excuse me, I think I might have been shot. Maybe just wing me. Just like a piece of shrapnel or so, could somebody maybe take a look at this? It doesn't look so good.
Do I get the sense that this just happened? Like this is something that just happened? Especially
considering we've established you have access to Belladonna's stream. Sure. Yeah, this dude is laying dead on the floor in the bank right now.
Great, cool. But not to, be real rude, because I'm definitely not like that. I don't care though, right? Because people can't see the spirits.
It is up to you to what extent you care. This is in and of itself. This is not a problem you have to solve. These people are not aware of the existence of this spirit.
Oh,
no.
Well, then I'm committed to my performance. Like full on fainting into the crowd, fake tears. Like this is my art.
With 5 successes, you are quite convincing. How famous is Art, by the way, in the New York scene?
If you're familiar with the music and or gallery scene, you probably know Art, or at least you know of Art.
Same thing. I gave it 30% and rolled a 3. A couple of people are like, "Holy shit! Is that Art? Is that?"
Yes, it is. But woe is me.
Artura Klimt was the hostage in the bank. But there's like news people here. Do you want to do an interview?
I am too upset right now. Can't you see?
You know, as an aside, it is true that I love to do my cold opens, but I got so into this, I realized after like 90 minutes, I don't know if it's a cold open anymore. So let me just say hello. And welcome.
Wait, we've been playing this whole time. We've been streaming this.
It's weird. I don't know. Like, wow. I'm like Jake. Turn us on now. We're ready. Hello and welcome to Mage the Ascension, Order Across New York. This is our Mage the Ascension game, told from the unique perspective of the Technocracy. The Technocracy, while historically are usually the villains of these stories, the Technocracy exists to maintain the consensus reality. Ostensibly, they're usually seen as these bullies that don't want to let other people be themselves in this crushing oppressive force. But the truth is, they are trying to protect the masses from the incredibly dangerous supernatural menace that stalk the days and nights, which we've just spent the past 4 seasons of these shows showing you are all very real and very dangerous. We will dive back into this. This is episode 1, The Order of Reason. Probably good to give a name for it. And one thing that I wanted to point out that I haven't before now is if you type in !order in chat, this for the first time, you have the ability to donate to affect the outcome of this game and tip our lovely performers in the process. If you type in !order, it will tell you what all happens there. If a single individual donates for one of those tiers, they can make the choice. If we arrive there,
cumulatively,
that's the word I'm looking for. You know, it wasn't, but that is the word that means the thing I was trying to say. If we arrive there cumulatively, we'll let chat decide what's going to happen. So there you are. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. I will say, this is still the world of darkness. It is still the world you know. It is still now, today, in New York City, where theoretically these lovely people are here to clean up a number of messes. Meanwhile, back inside. Maul, what are you doing while she is tending to the injured here?
So just to be clear for the mind stuff, I know it says like I can kind of like sense where people are with my brain. Do I have to explain that if nobody else sees it? You do? Shit.
Yes, again, because reality itself is like telepathy is not a thing, you know? And you're like, but it is. And reality is like, but it isn't though. Yeah.
Well then, for now, I'm going to look for signs of armed gunmen and or tracks of where this guy went.
Let me give you again some examples, which again we're sort of building, we're learning as we go here. Again, your job is to make it as reasonable as possible. So it could be something like, I heard their voice echoing through the air ducts, you know. I smell the gunpowder from up ahead. I smell where someone peed on themselves with the hostages. Just something that is like why I would know there's someone over there that I cannot see.
Fair. Okay.
You're gonna roll mind.
Sure.
But why would a common person be like, how'd you do that? I did it like this. Oh, all right. You know, the more you can have that, the easier it is.
Right. Like the anime protagonist reasoning is what we're so
more or less. I mean, you were just born the strongest. Like that's the rationale, you know.
In that case, I'm gonna steal your suggestions and do those things as far as literally like using my senses, sight, smell, whatever, to either whether it's, you know, the shadow from the light around the corner or echoing through the ducts, that sort of thing, just to see if I can get a read on where people are in the building.
Perfect. So you can roll your mind. We know Belladonna is helping rewrite the memories of these people. Oz is helping stabilize them medically. What is Allison doing?
Listen, do you smell something?
Synesthesia, man. She might be wired wrong. Yeah.
I'm going to proceed forward, keeping my head below the scorch mark on the wall and analyzing with my implants any potential weakness that may be discovered from the individual, so that by the time I get there, I might be able to do something other than shoot a bullet at somebody that it's going to bounce off.
For this, believe it or not, you can give me your perception and awareness, because you've already taken in quite a lot of information.
And uploading it to headquarters too.
Exactly. To management. Perfect.
Management knows. Perception and
awareness.
Got it. 5.
So you realize, especially in like having seen some of this through the video footage and stuff, this person was not, they apparently bullets didn't harm them. The fall through the skylight didn't harm them. Apparently even getting hit by lightning didn't hurt them much. It knocked them out of the sky, but they got up. They did seem very susceptible to the mental effects, however. And you know they are a marauder that is in the process of losing it, as all marauders are. But they do keep saying all this stuff about like, fear not, they're here to save the day. Like all of these like very heroic things. So if you had to calculate a weak point, it is their mind and morality is their point of vulnerability.
Got it. So we'll continue deeper. I still want to save whoever can be saved, protect the assets. And then when we get there, and then I'll also communicate everything to the team on what its weak points may be.
Excellent. And what did you get there, Mull, for yours?
I've rolled a hilarious number of 1s tonight. I got a 0 total.
You know, with all the smoke and the sting and like, so it's actually, it's hard to pin it down because there is a lot of adrenaline right now, a lot of fear. There's a lot of very scared people in here. Almost everyone is terrified. And that is sort of difficult turbulence for you to sort of maneuver through. But you do see Allison just sort of in her oddly artificial way, pushing forward, because you do know that where the hostages were moved were back on the other side of the teller desks, back towards the offices. However, there are glass over the teller desks, and as far as you know, there is a door to get back there, but it is locked, and it seems to be on its hinges. Like it didn't get broken or anything. So if they went that way, they had a way through.
Allison's leading. I'm just going to fall and step behind them at this point.
Excellent. Once you have the hostages stabilized and thoroughly convinced they didn't see what their eyes saw, the gate is down though. So what do you all intend to do with these people? That is, Oz and Belladonna are still there.
There's no other way out of this building?
Theoretically. But I mean, he lowered the defenses, so it ostensibly is probably locked up tight. But who knows? The only way out right now, clearly, is the shattered skylight, which is 20 feet over your head. Otherwise, they have to find a way to get the gate back up, or leave them there. But theoretically, if the gunmen come back this way, they're vulnerable.
I would say at this point, don't mean to be the bad guy here, but here we are. If their minds are already like wiped from what they saw, I'm moving towards our superhero.
You're like, cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Oz, Agent Nightshade very much is leaving. And you see the people like sort of look at you and they're like, do we go with you? Do we stay here?
You definitely do not go with me. You need to stay here and rest. I recommend continued deep breathing and focus on the rescue crew that is coming to extract you from this location.
Okay.
Just lay with your eyes closed and you'll be safe here.
All right. We'll just like get down flat here. You see, is that guy dead?
No, don't. You know what? Everyone is at various levels of injured. It's really judgmental to like focus on other people's injuries. Focus in.
Right.
Deep breaths.
Okay. Got it. We'll just keep our heads down. If we see anything, we'll scatter. I mean, presumably you untied them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're like,
and eyes closed because, tear gas might be a thing.
oh, yeah. Okay. Bro. All right. Got it. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. And they lay down. Outside, Mr. Gray, what are you doing? As you see, the cops are obeying you. They are pushing the crowds back. There is kind of an open space in front of the bank, but the barricade is down.
I would like to return to the van at this point, seeing that the crowd is averting their eyes, whether being pushed back by the police or distracted by art.
Mm-hmm.
And it's reasonable to assume that Belladonna's tap into the cameras feeds into the van. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I can sort of monitor what's going on inside the building through the cameras.
When you get back there, you see the professor is sitting back in the front seat with his glasses on, and blood is coming out of his nose again and is like dripped down all over his suit. And he's just going, oh dear, 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 oh dear.
What is it, man?
It's sorry, Gray.
Mr. Gray.
Bit of a problem. I think I know why they were robbing this bank in particular. More importantly, whose accounts they might have been after and could have succeeded. And may still.
Please illuminate me.
That never gets any easier, which is odd because I've been at this for some time. I believe there may be significant cerebral trauma. I shall have to be analyzed by management before redeploying. I believe they are hired to be in pursuit of the certain business records. I could not quite extricate it, but the attack on this institution that is under order of reason oversight is not a coincidence. Beyond that, it didn't make sense what I was able to find. Perhaps, hello, and all of you hear the professor's voice ringing in your ear over the comms. And you hear a tapping. Hello, if you could try and take one alive. They may have useful information. Ideally.
Management will be most displeased if certain bank account records are obtained.
That, I guess. Yes, probably. If you say so, that is what you're here to do. I'm here to do this, usually with less blood, but yes.
Yes, I would just like to point out that even if you submit reimbursement, we will not be paying for that suit.
I mean, I could still wear it. It's still good. Belladonna does give me an odd look. Her eyes crinkle by 44% when I'm covered in blood, be it my own or someone else's. Perhaps I should, in fact, requisition a new shirt.
Yes, but seeing as it was done by no injury outside of your own self, we will not be paying for that.
This is still a hot mic. You're still broadcasting, Professor.
Did Belladonna hurt me? Over. I'm losing stack. And it turns off.
And I'm just like, please clean yourself up. Oh, fuck. Okay.
What did you get on I think I don't have any rolls pending for everyone right now. Is you are creeping further into there is a locked door to get back towards the teller area. Yes, Mr. Gray.
Do I see through the cameras the group approaching this door, and it's visible that it's locked?
You don't have the best view because the cameras here in the lobby were spray painted over. You have a further back camera that you kind of have an idea that, like, you see the two of them walk past the tellers. You assume that's what they're doing, but you do not have a direct view of it.
And nobody's tried the door yet to see that it is locked?
They have not. Although theoretically, you could talk to them.
What is the plan, team? Which way are you pursuing these individuals?
We are not pursuing an individual. We are pursuing. Wait, sorry. Rewind. We are not pursuing individuals. We are pursuing one individual, the purported superhero.
Time is money, and you are wasting mine. Please tell me the plan.
I look at Allison like
Neutralization
Are
of
you
the Age skin.
Are you planning to proceed through the door ahead?
Yes.
Is the door currently locked?
She turns and looks kind of off to the side and speaking to no one, even though she addresses him by name.
So, Erwin, you think this is a 50-50 shot? Dead cat? Broken lock?
You're muted, V-Dave.
After a second there, you hear a familiar voice say to you, it's 50-50. Is that the joke?
Of course.
I hate the joke. You know this.
Well, I'm going to try the lock.
I worked for so many years. I accomplished so many scientific wonders. And the only reason anybody remembers me is the one bad cat joke. And then you reminds me of it constantly.
So I'm going to use entropy to subtly influence that it's actually just unlocked.
Weird. Roll it. Let's see.
One success because I had a one canceled the one.
So it would have been locked, but apparently, you know, when they went through, somebody in the chaos, again, maybe a bullet hit some aspect of the security system and the auto lock disengaged. It does open when you turn it.
Cat is dead.
It's not cool now. I just and he begins cursing in German.
Austrian, yes.
Austrian, yes. It's a different language.
Through the door we go.
He is from Vienna. Yes. As you all go through, a moment later, you hear thum, 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 thum from echoing up ahead.
Are there any cameras on what is ahead?
As you flick through the camera feed, you see there is a metal security door. It is not the vault, but there is a heavy door. And you see Captain Justice is standing in the hallway. Boom, 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 leaving huge dents in the door with each punch.
I will alert the team as to what is ahead of them.
He relays basically like 2 hallways up ahead, make a left. It dead ends into basically a panic room. There is no camera inside the room. You don't know what's in there, but he is.
And this is not the room where we saw them lead the hostages.
It
right?
is not the room where you see the hostages. You see that on another room where the 2 of the remaining gunmen are still in there with the machine guns. There's one unaccounted for gunman somewhere.
Allison, following your lead, what are we doing?
Belladonna, can you utilize high definition to get us eyes on?
I can do that. Recalling that I have this thing. It was high definition. Remind me once again.
That's when you can use their phones as cameras.
Aha, yes. So because the surveillance cameras are out, we can still access what's going on through their cameras that they're holding in their hands. So that's what I will do.
Well, for Captain Justice, because he does not have a phone in his hand. He may have a phone on his person.
I will do this for the other guards so that we know where the other guards are.
Yes.
Coming.
Perfect.
If
yeah, roll it.
all right. So what do I roll with this? This is a is a rote.
Mm-hmm.
So am I just rolling my 3?
Yep, your 3 dice. It's the difficulty is what it being a road affects.
I got 2 successes.
You are aware of the 2 other gunmen in with the hostages do have guns, and there is a bag on the table, or phones rather, and there's a bag on the table with everybody else's phone in it. You hear they are not talking to each other. And every time like the people kind of like whimper a little bit, you just hear like, shut up, shut the fuck up. I will fucking execute you. I swear to God. And then nobody talks again. The 3rd phone signal you are aware is leaving. It is somewhere entering the sewers underneath this bank.
All right. Well, I relay all of this. We've got one leaving, possibly through a sewer underneath. They've got all the other hostages' phones apparently. So, but be aware that one is exiting. We might run into him. I don't know.
You do, however, pick up a very faint signal from a 4th phone. If you had to wager a guess, Captain Justice has one on him that has been damaged in the midst of all the chaos. He has been hit by lightning, crashed into a bank, and then been shot repeatedly. However, you do hear he's sort of talking to himself, like, they won't get away with this. Justice will find them. A new day is dawning. They'll all find out.
Can I speak to somebody telepathically?
I believe.
Can I just hear what they're thinking?
I believe you have sufficient ranks in mind for that. Let me double check.
Because it just says telepathy, and I have the enough spheres in mind for it.
Yeah, I would say that I believe it is 1 just to insert your own thoughts, and with 3 you can talk back to them. Yes.
Okay. Am I in? I don't even know how this. Am I in range where I could do this? Like, I mean, he's stomping around.
You could easily get close enough to him. I mean, he is at the end of this hallway trying to take this one door off its hinges, so you could creep up very easily.
Okay. So once I get close enough, I would like to just use that just to be like, who are you talking about?
Roll your mind.
I would also like to point out we have reached our first goal.
Hey, thank you all. Congratulations. Or thank you all for your generosity. Congratulations to the team. So that means, chat, you decide in your infinite mercy, they are all either going to gain or lose 3 dice on a roll. If they gain 3 dice, it will be the roll of their choosing. If they lose 3 dice, it'll be a roll of my choosing. So chat, you all let me know what it is that is going to happen.
Oh, look how nice chat is.
You know,
I wouldn't be that nice, you guys.
I'm like, you disappoint me, chat. You disappoint me. Exactly.
Wow.
Roll your mind dice there, Belladonna.
I got 2 successes.
As you connect with his mind, it is a swirling maelstrom. It is just static in madness in his mind. And you see old black and white Superman cartoons, and you very much hear a lot of "Halt, evildoer!" In things like that. A lot of very old, very cheesy Superman cartoons. Especially in a lot of the old George Reeves ones too. However, in the midst of all of this, you get the distinct impression. It's almost like a little seed in the middle of this swirling maelstrom. He really thinks what he's doing here is vital to saving some innocent people. And when you just say, what is it that you think you're doing? He goes, huh? Are you my conscience?
And I could hear him say that.
Oh, yeah. Mind to mind. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wonderful. He like digs his hands into the edge of the door and keeps pulling. And you hear it like, yeah.
How about we stop doing that, though? Property, destruction of property damage. Superheroes don't do that. I mean, not on purpose.
I suppose so. It is not overly heroic to tear a vault door off, but if I were to simply ask, I don't think they'd give me what I want.
What do you want in the vault?
Wait, is this a trick? If you're my conscience, shouldn't you know what I want out of the vault?
I mean, I just want to make sure we're on the same page, buddy.
Fair.
Every superhero has a sidekick. I'm just like shrugging.
My conscience is my sidekick. Fascinating. Mr.
Right.
Gray, in art, presumably also watching this on the cameras now, you very much see him punching and he sort of like stops and he is like looking up like he's talking to something. Like,
And then when I say the sidekick, I just kind of like I'm just like scrambling through my head for a second. Then I'm like, "Gee, Captain Obvious. I mean, not Captain Obvious. Gee, Captain Justice. What do you suppose that's in that vault?"
well, I've been told that a group of duplicitous supervillains has been stockpiling their documents in this vault. Not just money, but proof of the depths of their illicit operations. Have you ever heard of something called the 8th generation?
The 8th generation, you say? I say that out loud so that everybody hears me.
Yes. Well, some friends of mine tipped me off of the fact that they were operating here and that I should come and try and put a stop to it. So here I am.
But
they are not quite as mighty as me, so they couldn't come here on their own.
What are they doing with these? I'm sorry. What are they doing with these documents? That what am I understanding from?
Theoretically, they're just here in the bank.
Literally, there's just some bad guys, and they're just keeping their things in this.
It's our documents, right? Technocratic.
Well, this is a technocratic establishment. He is saying that a group of supervillains have their documents in this vault, is what he's telling you, though.
Okay.
Proof of what they're doing is in the vault.
You know, that's a crime, though, right? To destroy somebody else's legal documents?
Yes, but I can use them to bring them to justice. No one believes they're doing all the things they're doing. There have been a number of very violent murders in the city. That was part of what originally drew my attention to let me know I needed to intervene.
Well, you know that there's... Never mind. I was going to sound like, you know that there's dead bodies like laying around in the lobby somewhere. And then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go there. I see that.
Listen, the Children's Crusade is going to thank me for this.
Oh, Allison, I hate this guy. Can we just get in there?
Yes. Can I? So now that I just know what he wants, I relay to everybody just that information. But if I do get close enough to him, I see psychic pain blast on my thing, and I see that I gotta use it.
I mean, you can of course move in. Yes, Art.
So at the mention of the 8th generation on our radios, Art, who was like prostrate across several laps in the crowd, like wailing, immediately just like stands up and is like, "I'm sorry, folks. I have to go and give my statement so that they can put away the evildoers who did this." And she'll walk back around and get back into the van with Mr. Gray. And Mr. Gray, it seems they've forgotten the hostages.
To be quite honest, at this moment I care not for the hostages and more for preserving the documents that this gentleman is trying to steal.
Yes, well, I'm not in the business of fighting men with lasers in their heads, you see, so I think you and I should focus on the hostages.
Yes, well, it is quite a shame that this high-tech security system has failed in such a way, and I would like to attempt to entropy the front door gate to just kind of it's sustained too much damage and to fall so that the front door is at least available.
Roll it.
Ooh.
I don't know if this is true for all of you, but Diana, Justice, and Mason and Noura are all frozen for me. Only Emily and Mikaela are still moving. Like, are the rest of you frozen?
Nope,
Everybody
everyone's
good?
still moving for me.
All right.
It wasn't on my screen, yeah.
GG. As long as the people can see your beautiful faces, wouldn't want to take that from you.
Adding these three bonus dice from the lovely chat, can I decide to do that after I roll my first ones, or should I need to do it all in one go?
This was all charity. I'll say you could roll it and then decide if you're going to add in the 3 dice.
Oh,
You disappoint me, chat. I'll just have to be worse to make up the difference.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need those.
Also, while he's working on that, I'm going to kind of like lean up to the professor who's no doubt trying to clean the blood off of his blazer. I'm going to tap him on the shoulder, take off my jacket, and offer a trade.
You intentionally want the one that my internal fluids have sullied in such a manner.
Well, yes, now it's a work of art.
Would you explain that to Belladonna? I have no head for such things, but perhaps she does.
I can try, but I don't think she likes me very much.
She treats everyone that way. That's all right though. It's he very much does take off. He's got there's blood on his blazer and there's blood on his button up. If you want that.
Yes, I will 100% take those and give him my jacket in return, which again is bright yellow plaid. It also has an obnoxious large fake flower on it.
He puts it on and zips it up, and he's like, "I feel very fashion forward."
It's a good look for you. It's smart.
Thank you, Art.
Try not to bleed
appreciate
on
that.
it.
I will endeavor to do so.
It's from Milan, so I mean I can just roll back time and undo it, but also don't.
Well, no, literally, don't.
Yeah.
Not for dry cleaning.
Priorities.
You have a very curious approach here. What was who were you here representing again? Void engineers, correct?
Well, yes. You know, if I've scoured the stars, I know when something seems odd.
Very valid. And thank you for loaning me this very decadent ensemble. I don't know that my loafers match, but yes, good luck. Is it your intent to also infiltrate the facility with Mr. Gray here?
Well, yes, I can't leave him to his own devices, obviously. He'd morose himself into a coma if left unattended.
I shall man the getaway van, and he slides over behind the wheel.
Ooh,
Hey guys,
that's going to come back to haunt us.
not to interrupt our everybody coming in. Don't we have someone leaving the building?
We
Sewers,
do.
ring the bell.
Yes, someone in the sewers.
Do we have anyone outside that could maybe stop them?
Professor,
Mr. Gray, do you think we
maybe a
could?
child.
Anybody?
Allison, was there any indication previously that there was an adolescent member of this terrorist organization?
I'm 83.2% certain.
83.2% certain, yes or no?
Of course.
It's mostly yes.
If there are children present, I'm going to have to quite insist I remain here in the command center. I will be of much greater use here outside of the presence of non-adult entities. I do not trust them. Their legs are too short and their heads are too small.
Understandable. Mr. Gray, would you like me to handle that disturbance?
I suppose I can deal with the hostages myself, if you would be able to take down this individual in the sewer.
Splendid.
Good luck. And if they turn out to be of age, do radio for backup, and I shall be there forthwith. And he holds the gun out again. I also could engage in fisticuffs if you prefer.
Noted. And I'll kind of like, if I'm able to just sort of like hop out of the van and slide into a manhole, that'd be cool.
How many rolls did you get there, Mr. Gray, on trying to access the security system?
I thought it was 3, but I forgot about the 1, so only 2.
That is enough. The gate does start to raise back up front, and you see the cops are going to go in, especially after all the chaos. But when they see you approach, they all stop for a second.
On my way out of the van, I grab a cane with a silver owl on the top, and carry it, not using it, but carry it in one hand. And I wave the police officers off as I step into the building.
I will say, unfortunately, because half of you are frozen on my screen, if you hold up your finger, I probably can't see it. So you just, for Nightshade, Mr. Gray, and Art are frozen. The rest of you are moving. So if the 3 of you need something, you'll have to say it out loud.
You got it.
Meanwhile, back inside, I would say he was 2 hallways away. If you all have moved in, that you're basically around the corner from where he is.
Do I have to see him to use that psychic pain blast on him? Or?
I mean, we've established you already have a mental connection with him, so I would say no.
So then I would just like to go ahead and fry his brain a little bit.
Roll your mind effect.
I'm unaware. Can mages tell when other mages are doing shit or not?
Not necessarily. It depends on what they're doing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Nora's face says nothing good is happening right now. She's just kind of like...
I rolled 2 10s in a row, so I kept rolling.
Oh, okay. No, that's good.
Which is good because I was the only success that I rolled, so I had to keep. But I got 2 successes.
You see, he's like, they're going to thank me for this. The Children's Crusade will win the and like falls to his knees, holding his head.
And I'm just like signaling.
I want to
move in.
Yeah, I want to go kick his ass.
I do too.
I presume Allison does as well.
I don't think I've got any things that will directly affect him that way.
Well, yes.
But I think I can use probability to affect everyone else's so that they're better off.
Excellent. As he falls to his knees, wailing in pain, and Maul and Oz come around the corner, prepared to mess him up, that is actually a good place for us to take a break, because it doesn't feel like it, but we're well into this. So let's do a quick 10. And we will come back, and I'm sure that all of this is going to be fine. So I'll see you all back here in 10 minutes.
Boots butts.
Perfect. Hello, and welcome back. That was so delayed, and but I'm for it though, because we're very much on brand. Again, and with that, I would point out again that you can input the command !order. Those totals are compounding, but by the way, so if one individual donates that much, thank you. But even if we get there incrementally, those are the things that will happen. So thank you all so much for helping us get to the first goal already. That being said, Art, you have easily located a manhole cover and slipped down underneath the bank.
Do I see the escaping hostage taker fella? Or lady? I don't judge.
That is true. Nobody checked. You know, they're wearing masks. There could be anything under that Kevlar.
It's true.
However, currently you cannot see this person. It is just a hallway that looks like it goes that direction towards the bank.
Cool. Could I once again use my knowledge of dimensional space to kind of get a feel for if they were leaving the bank through the sewer systems, would they be headed this way naturally so I can just kind of like lay in wait, or do I have to go seek them out?
You can roll dimensional science for me.
And then they're still able to see from that specific phone tapped into, right? Once
they headed underground, you lost the signal on that phone, but you were aware they were leaving and heading down.
Gotcha.
Or you feel like the person is coming this way. You also feel like there are a lot of other individuals that are down here in the sewers, although most of them are in hiding. Maybe they're dead.
Oh, great.
But there's a lot of them down here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Super psyched about that.
Yeah.
Are they near me right this second?
There is one that is very close to you, and there is 5 that are in the vicinity.
Cool. Are they moving?
They are not moving. And it is broad daylight. From what you know of the hemophagic entities, because this is something you'd be trained for, they are inert during the daytime.
Cool. Great. As much as it might be foolish for me to do so, I'm going to remain sort of right where that manhole is open above me so that I'm surrounded by sunlight, because seems like a good option. And yeah, I would like to storyteller.
Yes.
For abilities that we are trying to use that might affect someone's spirit per se.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a range for that? Or can I just say, okay, robber dude who's headed this way?
Same way, you need to see them.
Cool, great. Then I will prepare for the moment that they enter my field of vision.
Perfect. Back inside, Maul and Oz, you came around the corner and you see he is on the ground holding his head, but is trying to get to his feet already. But it's like, and there are huge dents in the door. You realize he probably would have gotten through already if nothing had stopped, if Belladonna hadn't stopped him.
You had said previously, and tell me how much extent this is, that
once again, I like where this is headed.
Yeah, martial arts does the whole we can do the chakra business. Will that affect his usage of magic? Maybe.
You don't know. I mean, are you like chi blocking like Avatar?
Yeah, that was what I was going for. Yeah.
That in and of itself, I do not believe that is an ability that you possess. Although there are abilities that exist that it can be done. Hold on a second.
Can I pitch it to you this way? I want to use martial arts to hit specific nerve spots, and then using force, I would like those attacks that I land on him to have like an electrical impulse in his nervous system.
No, there actually really is this. There's rules for this because the Akashic Brothers, this is what they do. I believe it is in the How Do You Do That PDF that I'm looking for. But while I'm looking for this, what is Oz going to do?
Like, literally, I was going to ask to basically do what Maul has just asked to do. So, like, let's tag team this bitch.
Yeah. I'll go high, you go low.
Right. I love this visual of the two of you just kind of come around the corner, the suit in her Lululemon, and just being like, boom, 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 boom.
We have like that slow motion anime, like freeze frame moment of like coming in and then like just descend upon.
So I got good news for you and I got bad news for you. The good news is it is possible. The bad news is you need at least 2 dots of prime to do these things.
I have.
Well, it is forces 2 prime 2. It's the mechanic.
What? I have forces 3. Can we?
Then yes, the use can do it too. But do you have prime though?
No.
Well, but you do have life though, correct?
I do have life. I have 4 life and 3 forces.
Dave, I rolled 3 successes before we went to break toward whatever they were doing next.
Perfect. Point of order. You only have 3. The max you can have is 3. So in anything. So if you spent those points, you can recoup those points.
Oh, yeah, I'll recoup those points.
Because the most you can have is 3.
I thought we could
currently.
bypass the 3. Sorry.
No, not currently. Perfect. So with your 3 successes to help them, that does what, Allison?
It's up to you. You can apply it to their difficulty to lower their difficulties.
Do you have oh wow. So just for you guys to know, this is in the PDF of how do you do that, is starting on page 63 is the way you can use your magic to influence the stuff that you are doing. So what you can do, Oz, is you can use life to make your attacks more damaging. You can disrupt him physically with your life magic in under the guise of physically hitting, and it's a similar effect. The same way you could be done with prime and forces. I do recommend just when you all have a moment, starting at 63, seeing some of the specific magical combat things that can be done, because I feel like you're the types that are going to be using that a lot. While they're figuring that out, so Allison, you've gotten 3 successes here. So here's what I'm going to do for that. Allison has provided, between the 2 of you, she has given 3 successes that you can use as you will. So go ahead and roll your 3 dice for both of you. For Maul to disrupt him energetically, and for Oz to disrupt him physically. And you have a communal 3 extra successes to use here.
Okay. How metagaming are we allowed to go with these right now?
I'm listening.
Like on a scale of 1 to 5, I feel pretty like a solid 3 about what I'm about to do.
So we rolled our 3 specifically for our magical effect, right?
Yep.
I would like to take as many of those as Emily is not using. Because I rolled a 0 again.
Take them.
Did you botch?
Take them.
And do you have any
not.
ones
No, I
there?
did not.
Well, technically, it wouldn't be a botch until he didn't cash in some of these successes that you so graciously provided. I would have been living for that, though. Okay. So that's gonna be 3 and 3. Okay, perfect. Let me roll for him. He's having a moment right now. Okay, so
That's not a good noise.
is you all rush forward, going high and low and just wailing on this dude. Oz, every time you go to hit him, it feels like you are hitting concrete, but every time your fist slams into him, you feel it like give slightly, like, because you know exactly where to hit him, Oz, when you were laying these blows in on him. It is almost, even though it looks similar to the untrained eye, especially with the way the 2 of you flow, having done this so many times, it is completely different when you are hitting him, Maul, because it is almost like a shock is going through him. I will go so far as to say that perhaps you've got a pair of electrified brass knuckles that you have slipped on. That is like every time you hit him, and he is holding his head, and he's like, "What?" And turns and goes, "Stop!" And you see the beams of energy come out again. He, however, botched. So you see they cut through the wall, and Gray, Mr. Gray, as you are approaching, you see a line just come cut through the wall of the bank that then disappears. And inside, after a moment, you see the two of the terrorists hop up again and like look both ways and don't seem to realize that you can see them through the wall.
Am I outside or have I entered at this point?
You would be able to, you got inside because you took the time to open the gate. You do, however, have the jump on these dudes that don't seem to realize that you got the jump on them.
Okay. As I pass through the lobby, I would tell the hostages there to like vamoose just in case things go south here. And it's paint the word picture. It's two terrorists that are facing a crowd of.
So yes, they are basically they're in the corner office. You think it's the office manager's office. The people are down on the floor, and one of the guards is right in front of them, and the other one is across the room from them. Although they both definitely just ducked when these lasers came up and are kind of looking around, and it seems like there's a gap in their awareness where they haven't immediately drawn down on the people yet.
I'm in that moment, I'm going to remove the owl from my cane, which is a sword, and advance on the one closest to me. And as I'm advancing for just regular old melee shit, I'm gonna attempt to, it's just such a shame that the guard on the far side of the room, he didn't put his clip in all the way, so it's just gonna fall out.
All right. Roll me your entropy, and then you can roll dex and melee. I rolled a not insignificant number of dice on that botch too, for the record.
Proud of you.
Hot damn, that's 4 on the entropy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to.
You see the clip slides out of the gun, and he just looks down and goes, fuck, and bends down trying to pick it up again as you are sliding into the room with your sword in hand. And the other one having not noticed because he's looking at his buddy.
Dex and melee. Not nearly as good. That is only 2 successes.
But to this guy who is flat-footed, you see he turns at the last second and like sees that you're coming and is like, hey, and tries to get his gun up, but not before you're able to stab it into him. He is wearing Kevlar, but you do feel like you got him though. What is the total damage on that?
Oh, I do not know how to determine that.
It is the number of successes plus the weapon. The weapon is like plus this or plus that.
I didn't come prepared with that.
You know what? But that's all right. I did. Hang on. I got a good guideline here. We will say Sorry. That's okay. We're gonna say it's +2 for a light piercing.
Okay.
So that would be 4. You definitely feel the knife or the sword sort of bury into him, and he's like, and as you are driving him backwards. Meanwhile, down in the sewer, Art, you hear footsteps coming your direction, but they very much start to slow down.
Do I see anything? Or rather, would I know about their presence since I'm utilizing my...
You don't see a thing because you're standing in a column of light surrounded by darkness. You do, however, feel that this person has like gotten there and slowed up and is like leaned against the wall trying to figure out who the hell you are.
Right. Then I'm going to take a single step forward out of the column of light so that I can see in the darkness. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I can see them, I'm going to say, running away from a fight. That's so funny. And I would like to utilize my spirit sphere to give them a fit of the giggles. I want to alter their mood and make them think that is the funniest thing that they have ever heard.
Give them a giggle fit. I'm for it.
Yeah, give them a giggle fit.
Roll it.
6 altogether.
He goes, what? I was just like, the hell is happening? What's this?
And then as soon as he kind of starts like doing the doubling over with the giggles thing, I'd like to approach him and smack his head against the wall to get him to pass out.
I was about to say 6 successes is a lot. So as you walk towards me, like, get back, I will fucking end you.
Sure you will.
Give me either Dex or Strength and Brawl. If you're gonna muscle him or finesse him.
Cool. This is where I'm gonna add those 3 dice because this is not a fighty character, guys.
Perfect.
Oh boy, I'm glad I did that. That is 2 successes.
He already is dispossessed of his faculties, though, so he's just like,
How old does he look?
When you pull the mask off, it looks like he's probably in his mid-20s. So a brown-haired guy could be anybody. He does look like he's got deep circles under his eyes, though. Like he's either very malnourished or hasn't slept in a long time.
Okay. I'll get on my comm. Professor.
Yes.
I'm wondering what your cutoff for a child is.
Of age, 18, legal.
Wonderful. Could you come and collect a body from the sewers? I'm afraid I don't want to get my hands too dirty.
A second later, you hear, and he literally just falls through the hole and lands. Like, yes, hello?
Could you collect this one, please?
You took him alive! Well done, Art! High five, wait. High fives!
I actually do a little hop and chest bump.
Yes, that's the fun maneuver. Okay, yes, that's a valid celebration, I think.
We should probably hurry, though. It seems that there are others nearby.
More terrorists? I thought there were only
No. The dead kind.
The hemophages here? Well, I suppose this is the type of place they'd like to be in.
It's rather gross, but...
They must be dead asleep right now, though, although I suppose...
That was a funny joke!
No, it worked!
Oh, we laugh. We have a good time.
There is nothing saying that we couldn't leave a little bit of napalm down here when we left to maybe clear out that infestation.
Oh, well, by all means.
Well... Maybe don't tell the others. And he reaches, he goes, he's like, oh, not in the coat. Oh, yes, the holdout one. And he sort of rolls up his pant leg. And on the side of his pant leg, you see something that is shaped like a small dish. And he says, prototype, built it myself. And puts it on the wall and sort of turns it with a click. And you see it starts to glow red.
That seems like we should probably move now.
Yeah. Oh, yes. No. Yeah. Well, yes. But no, it won't detonate until the remainder of the team is out of the bank, and there is a 89% chance that it will not damage anything above ground at all.
I like those odds, but I don't want to be near it.
Valid. Yes.
Do let's. After you, please, sir.
Oh, that's just after. Well. He reaches down and grabs the guy by the neck and doesn't hoist him completely off the ground, but just sort of starts dragging him back towards the ladder. And he's like, after you, I insist.
Oh, no, certainly I should at least assist. And I'll pick up one ankle so that he's sort of hanging like a hammock.
He's like, all right, it's going to be tricky. Coming up, and starts pulling him up the ladder. Meanwhile,
I'm still holding that ankle, but it's not doing anything. I'm just holding on to it while the professor's doing all the work.
It's very much like having a hook and elbow through the ladder as he's going up with it.
Keep going. You're doing a wonderful job.
Yes, it's all core strength. It's common misconception, core strength. getting him up. Meanwhile, back inside, Belladonna, you see your two friends are all over this guy who is taking these hits and set off this beam again. All of you roll for me your unspent willpower.
All or just the ones in the hallway?
Just the ones inside, not not Gray, not actually Gray.
Mr.
You roll it for Mr. Gray. Roll it for me, but it'll be a difficulty 4 for you because you're a little further away.
That was 0.
0.
Wow, Mason, you are.
This is the worst I've ever rolled.
Remember when I said you weren't going to roll any ones? That was a funny joke.
Oh, I didn't roll any ones. I just didn't roll any successes.
You just made the mistake of saying it out loud. 4 for Oz. Belladonna, unfortunately, you were frozen for me again. So how many is that for you?
4 as well.
Perfect.
4.
Excellent. All of you start feeling this queasiness around him, as all of reality again is like hostilely attempting to eject him. Maul, you pick up 2 points of paradox. Is like you are touching him, and it is like it is all getting all over you, just being this close to him and his proximity. The rest of you pick up 0. It feels awful. It's like if you've ever been in a tornado just before the tornado hits and everything gets absolutely still and quiet, and it's just like all of everything feels wrong, and then the tornado hits. That's what it feels like. For you, it is objectively worse. Maul, you were completely aware that you were being tainted by just being in his presence.
And well, the things I want to do to kill him, I feel like would make it worse.
It might. Yes, Bella. Unfortunately, you are frozen for me, Belladonna. So if
I do. Yeah, I just want to shout for everybody to move aside, because I clearly have this gun that I intend to shoot at him. However, I don't want to hit my friends.
Yes. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I will happily move aside, but did I miss it? Did anything come of me and Maul rolling for the melee attack?
Oh, I'm accounting for him getting beat up. Yeah, no,
Okay,
you're hurting him.
Great.
Yeah.
So when Belladonna says that, I will very dexterously and swiftly like disengage and then like lunge back out of the way.
This is you. Boom, 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 boom. Split again. Yeah. You guys know the drill. You're gonna shoot him with the beam, Belladonna?
Yeah.
Roll it.
I'm only moving out of the way the minimal amount necessary.
It's true, just enough.
I'm impressed. I'm so impressed.
What am I rolling for wonders?
How, Mikaela, since you created this thing, was it still her firearm skill, or was it its own forces rating?
It had its own Arete score, and I don't have it in front of me, but I thought it was 4.
Yep. Okay. Then roll that many. Yep.
3 successes.
Excellent. Hold on a second here. Let me check this. Excellent. What is it? You tell me. What does it look like when you fire this thing? What does the device look like, and what does the beam look like?
Oh, I got it. Got the info if you want it, PDF.
I mean, I just mean more dramatically.
I mean, I've never seen one of these before, but I would imagine it would look sleek AF. No?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, all right. I thought somebody went, I was like, all right, a super soaker.
Yeah.
I would like to alter matter to make it a super soaker.
It's true. Make it a disintegrating super soaker. Yes.
Yeah. You know, those, it's like a black version of one of those guns that like Marvin the Martian would shoot like a laser beam out of, is what I'm imagining in my cartoon brain. However, it probably looks nothing like that.
As you shoot, you see he goes, and puts his hands up, and the beam smashes into him, and you all see he starts to burn immediately. And he's like, what? not possible. I'm Captain Justice. If I were to fall, who will defend the children? Allison, what are you doing while she's clearly doing this? And it's working, but he is fighting back against it.
How engulfed is he?
Right now, it looks like it is starting to burn his arms, and like the spandex is starting to give way, and his skin is starting to bubble, but he is still holding it there.
I might have to pull a Superman and try to break his neck, because I think I'm going to use my martial arts and my entropy, and I'm going to use the 3 successes that we get. So
Perfect. Well, 3 dice, 3 more dice.
3 dice.
Yeah, 3 successes. That'd be a higher donation.
All right, so I'll do the entropy roll first with the 3 dice.
Also,
and then,
how dare you refer to that as a Superman? How dare you?
oh, 2 10s.
Although
2,
it's not
4, 6, 7 successes.
You describe for me what it looks like. He's standing there. You see Maul and Oz have boom, 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 and split out of the way. Everybody knows what to do. She bang and has him there. And he looks up at her, and you see his eyes light up like he's absolutely about to shoot Belladonna back with his eye beams. And you tell me what Allison does to him.
It's unfortunately so non-flamboyant. It is just move out behind him, pop his head backwards so that if he was going to be shooting off his eyes, it goes up. And for a moment, she'll actually think, this does seem awfully familiar from a movie. And then channel the energy of chaos and probability so that everything just falls apart where it needs to.
And you see the lasers do start to go out. And he just collapses to the ground. Meanwhile, next door, Mr. Gray, you have stabbed the first one, who is kind of like falling back with his hand on his abdomen, but trying to get the gun up towards you. The second one is frantically trying to get the clip as the hostages are actively screaming now.
Yes. I'm going to first drive forward with the sword that is lodged. So I'm not making a new attack, but just simply driving further into the hole I made in the Kevlar, attempting to pin this wayward foe to the wall, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And then with a spin maneuver of putting yes, I'm going to attempt to wrest his gun from him, and train it on the gentleman that is attempting to replace the clip in his gun, and then use mind as well as intimidation, if possible, to get him to surrender.
It will be a mind effect, but I will lower the difficulty here as you drive this sword forward and pin the first guy and point his gun at the second one. What do you say to him?
Again, I iterate. Time is valuable and you are wasting mine. Surrender now and you may escape with your life.
Actually, just roll straight up manipulation and intimidation for now. We'll see how well that even goes, but before you have to use any mental effects.
What is the difficulty on this one?
We'll say 6.
3 successes.
The first one, as the sword is buried into the guy, you see he just sort of gets kind of lightheaded and kind of slumps over on you as you're pointing his gun. And the second one just goes like, "You're not going to take me alive," and is going to try and charge right towards you, like with his hands like out like this.
Right in that moment, I'll say over the radios, "We have one alive out here."
So he has dropped his gun then?
Mm-hmm.
Then I will attempt a I don't know if this is the correct word, but I want to say it. No, it's not. I was going to say riposte, but that is not it. But I wanted to say that word anyway because it's just a fun word to say.
It's a fun word to say.
Drop the gun, grab my sword, and then do sort of a spin move and try and catch him as he's charging forward.
Effortless, because you realize he's charging out of desperation, not out of defense. And as the sword goes across his neck and you see the blood start to come down, when he looks at you for a second and you swear, Gray, you see relief in his eyes. And he slumps to the ground, dead. And the terrorists are like, or the hostages rather.
I'll do that, that real cool flick the blood off maneuver and sheathe the sword. Fear not, masses, you are saved. And I will proceed to cut their bonds and guide them towards the front entrance.
Meanwhile, over in the hallway, Captain Justice lay dead. You see his arms are badly burned from what Belladonna did to him. Although Belladonna, you've seen that thing disintegrate an engine block before. And it was getting him, but it didn't have him. You also, when you get a chance to see him, there are bruises on his skin from where Oz and Maul's blows were hitting him, but there's not a scratch on him from any of the bullets or anything else.
He's down, but he's not dead.
Oh, he's dead. No, she broke his neck. He's dead.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Because you're about to be like round 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right to his forehead. Is there anything like on his person? Like
there is the damaged cell phone, and that is it.
I would like to take that cell phone.
Perfect. The vault he was attempting to get into is about half opened. You realize he could have forced it the rest of the way if you had not intercepted. But as of now, it is sitting bent and twisted, but still on its hinges.
Well, I got to see what's inside.
Do you?
I would like to. I want to see. I want to see which specific documents he was looking at or wanted to.
How do you want to open the vault? I would say by now you see hostages frantically running by, and Mr. Gray comes walking up like nothing's happened. And you see this body on the ground with all of them around it inspecting this heavily damaged vault door. Gray?
Well, I don't really have any. My specialty is in mental things, so I don't know. Unless I use like the likelihood that there would be something amiss in or got damaged in such a certain way to hinges that it would just fall right off, or that they could easily just push it back open.
I mean, it would be within your power to say that he'd done enough damage that it's like you're capable of forcing it. Now, if you so chose.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll it.
Ooh, that's just one success.
You feel like you could get it, but it would take some time.
Little help.
Might I suggest that we secure the scene and perhaps leave those better off untouched?
You're not curious as to what he destroyed this entire building for?
I have suspicions. And this is not our job. As Maul has stated, our job is complete here, and we have plenty of forms to fill out.
Will you guys hurry up in there?
So you want us to fill out a bunch of forms that say, for an intelligence report, but we don't actually inspect what the actual document is.
Oh, no, Belladonna, you mistake me. You all have requisition forms and, how do they say, expense reports to fill out from this catastrophe.
And is there a part in triplicate that says Gray wouldn't let me look at this form?
Mr. Gray. And if you wish to keep the funding for your operation, I suggest you comply.
I'm going in after those forms.
I will document this.
Is
Be my guest.
You'll see Belladonna goes back in, like is still pulling at the door. I mean, you do hear it groaning. Like
I got the gloves on. I'm ready to move this thing.
I'm gonna help Belladonna because I'm gonna initiate a probability assessment of what things he would have been going in there to get specifically if he had succeeded using time and entropy.
Roll it.
9, 7, and a 5.
That's gonna be 2 successes. He was looking for a list of holdings that belong to a cult called the 8th Generation. He wanted to figure out where they were so that he could go and stop them all. He believes they're supervillains or believed past.
I'll help Belladonna open the door, and we will collect that as evidence.
You find when you get inside in the vault, it is as you would expect. Some of it is safe deposit boxes, which has any number of things in it. Again, based on your analysis, you were able to figure out which boxes he was after, and they belong to a man named Dr. Gunta Dragarunta. That is his name.
Dr. Gunta.
Dr. Gunta Dragarunta.
That's cute.
And it is a list of holdings. It is numerous real estate investments all over the city. There's no pattern. Most of it are slum tenements. They're usually in the bad parts of town. A couple of broken down houses and a small handful of very lavish penthouses. But most of them are just large scale buildings and slums.
This one here. Take this one.
I'll just grab whatever documents are.
Is it your intent to remove them or to simply like duplicate them, like take pictures of them?
Yeah, I'll take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just looking at them, both of us can. That is the pictures.
We could just scan. Yeah.
No, you're more than capable of doing. It's just, are you going to
physically
remove them or not? Yeah. Okay. Then yes, you are able to take copies of all of this stuff, and after a few moments outside, Art, you do see the cops are starting to move in, especially as the hostages come running out, as you and the professor sort of drag this man back into the van.
Darlings, I don't mean to rush you, but it does seem that you are about to be joined by the local law enforcement, so perhaps wrap up.
Is there anything on this man's body other than spandex?
Just the spandex and the phone.
I'll toss him the phone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What would you like to do with it?
I mean, at the moment, I just wanted it to look like, because I know it's been damaged. Is there any sort of identifying thing that, I mean, I assume it's his phone, but I don't know for sure. I just know that somebody told him to get these documents from in here. So I know we need this phone just in case.
Give me intelligence and, let's see here. Technology, intelligence and technology.
Okay. 3.
The professor sort of like peeks over your shoulder and he's like, would you like me to take a look at that?
Just hand it over my shoulder to him.
He sort of looks at it for a moment and goes, oh, yeah. Yeah. Huh. Good news, bad news. Again, there is only one number stored in the phone. That's the good news, I suppose. I lose track of this. I'm not sure which is actually positive. Don't have a head for colloquialism.
The point, Professor.
The other number is a known reality deviant, one that we have had under surveillance for some time. They are a member of what they themselves like to refer to as the cult of ecstasy.
Sounds terrible.
Yes, dreadful. When are we leaving? And that's actually a good place for us to stop. So, there you go. Number one, you all averted a crime of some sort, but then sort of committed that crime, and you have at least one live hostage. Important point of clarification. What are you going to do with Captain Justice's body?
I was gonna ask, is this something that backup could be used for, to call in other technocratic agents that are more maybe we stall the police until they show up and they're more adept at cleaning up messes, as it were?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the type of thing you could keep the cops out of there and call, especially since Allison was transmitting all of this to management. Such a cleanup team would probably arrive whether you called them or not. The moment heat ray vision burned through the walls, it's like, get out there. Yep.
It turns out this group had some sort of experimental laser weapon that they were using to cut into the vault door.
Let's not forget there's also napalm in the sewer now. Let's just,
I mean, is there?
I'm not
no
gonna
one
forget.
I was about to say no one mentioned that, so I don't. Is there? Anything could have happened down there.
It's 50-50 odds, right?
50-50. Definitely going to detonate before sundown. Yeah. Although, important thing, Belladonna, Agent Nightshade, that's one of the things you do is massaging stories on social media. So
I do.
These people's Wi-Fi is not working. That's weird, but there is a story that is going to get out. What are people going to hear happen today?
Well, they're going to hear that there was an attempted robbery, and that one of the group of armed robbers was a person with mental health issues who attempted to disguise or dress up as a villain. So no separate, like he was part of the squad that was in there trying to rob this bank.
Perfect.
There were unfortunately some casualties, but everything else was kind of scrubbed to fit nice and tightly into this very bland.
More
news
importantly,
story.
Who went in and stopped them? Was it just a SWAT team breached and that was that?
Yeah, they're good at their job. That's city money spent.
Excellent. Again, I'm sure this is the last we've heard of anything that happened here tonight. However, since we jumped right into it and then it very quickly got away from me, we never got an opportunity to properly introduce you all and where the people can find you. So we could do that now, starting with it in the order that you all are on my screen. But I'm going to start down here at the bottom of the horn with the lovely Mason.
Hey everybody, my name is Mason Dula. You can find me here on Twitch at Wizard Rex TV, as well as on this channel all the time, Bard and Barbarian. And I had a lot of fun. Thank you, Dave. That was different.
It's weird being the one that has to solve the problems.
Yeah.
Everybody else has it much easier than you guys have. That's all right. I'm sure when you actually report to management, this is all gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. There's Emily.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily. I work over at Roll20. I sometimes stream here at QueueTimes, sometimes Bard and Barbarian, sometimes with Hearthsinger Games. And you can find me on social media at Emily the Spoon on all the things.
All the things. Justus.
Hi, everybody. I'm Justus. I am one half of the team over at Bard and Barbarian, and you can find me on the socials at Stash Mandu.
I still want to know who's the bard and who's the barbarian, though.
What you think?
As you know,
That's the eternal question. Ask
That
Schrodinger.
is.
That mustache tells me you're a bard.
But the beard says barbarian.
But the beard says barbarian.
I know it's coming in nicely.
It's an excellent crop. That's it. Many a night been looking at the ceiling, like which one's the bard and which one's the barbarian. Yeah. Yep.
At least you're thinking about us.
Well, he falls asleep. I don't know about that.
Person who's probably wondering what they got themselves into, the beautiful Mikaela.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mikaela Sims. You can find me on Twitter at Mikaela V Sims. And I guess upcoming for me will be my own Mage game, probably in another month, which also has Noura and Dave as players. It's 2 individual games that'll be merging with a Technocracy group and a Traditions group, and special effects and all sorts of fun post-production stuff.
Yeah, she's gone above and beyond with that game. That I just play the professor and make things terrible for her, and the production design is super ultra top flight. So definitely catch that one when it comes out, especially if you fall in love with Belladonna and the professor the way that we have. You'll see them on another mission that hopefully they live through, because things can get wibbly wobbly timey wimey if we don't come home from one of these things.
Yeah, we'll just have to figure out which timeline this is,
or which timeline it isn't. Think about it. Hey, they get Schrodinger's Bard and Barbarian. We get to be undead technocracy agents that are simultaneously alive and dead until you check. So it's fine. It's fine.
You know, sometimes I wonder what these conversations would sound like to someone who knows nothing about TTRPGs.
You know,
it brings joy.
And yet, which brings us to you, Diana.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm Diana DiMicco. You can find me a whole bunch of places, but mostly on Twitter at DiMicco Diana, or doing some fun stuff for oh my God, Die Hard Dice. I forgot the name.
It's Friday. You're allowed to not think about that.
I'm dying. I'm also the other half of Bard and Barbarian, in case you didn't pick up on that somehow.
Can I ask again, which is the Bard and which is the Barbarian? Because I don't know that, or maybe you'll
gotta guess, babe. That's the rule.
That's, you know, it will only lead to chaos if I guess wrong. That's the problem. Although I'm pretty sure I know, but still.
I think you do.
I could tell you, but that would be ruining the fun.
That'd be cheating. Well, let me put it like this. I know which one of you has more rage in their heart. Let me put it like that.
Listen.
So that's it. That's my hint. And last but definitely not least, Noura.
Hi, everyone. I'm Noura Ibrahim. You can find me at Nouralogical on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me every Monday at Realmsmith for Into the Mist, every Thursday at D&D for Black Dice Society, DM'd by our wonderful B. Dave Walters. And then on Saturdays, you can catch me at Pixel Circus playing Princess Jasmine on our All Princess show, D&D show, Damsels and Dice. This Wednesday, you can find me awkwardly enough on 2 places at the same time. So you pick one. It's either for Call of Cthulhu on the Calyx on Good Time Society with Becca Scott, or on Glass Cannon Network for some Vampire the Masquerade. They're both, I highly recommend either one. And then I'm on some other stuff. I don't have the brain capacity to think beyond that. So follow me on things.
That is the most first world problems, to have content competing with yourself, though. Yeah, it's
Yes.
brava.
I was like, whoops.
Me, B. Dave Walters. You can find me wherever fine streaming content can be located. I'm somewhere doing something almost 7 days a week, but definitely catch us on the Black Dice Society Thursdays at 4 Pacific on D&D, Twitch, and YouTube, playing Ravenloft, and it is delightfully terrible. Thank you as always to QueueTimes. Thank you all for your very wonderful and charitable donations. I know we were halfway through the show before I mentioned that, but we're going to be doing that for the remainder of the run. So anytime we have we hit the right number, something wonderful or not wonderful will happen as dictated by you, the people. You know, do not test me. I'll have Tiamat show up in a mage game. I don't care.
Do it. You won't.
You know, but you know, I appreciate Mikaela left in disgust.
She's like, done with you all.
Like conscientious objection, done. So thank you all so much, and we will see you next week. Bye.